never gonna make it. You're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible. It's not probable. You're irresponsible. Too many obstacles. You gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow. You can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna make it soon, and I'll do it cause it's what I wanna do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision, but no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it.
Oh, will you fight?
Hello and welcome to Game Day from the UK, another Miami Heat UK live pre-game streaming show brought to you, of course, by at the Miami Heat UK. Here tonight to preview the game against the Detroit Pistons. Let's welcome the cast. Just a few of us tonight. It's Christmas time. It's busy. The guys, have things to do, but very, very pleased to be joined by Ollie Rahimi. Ollie, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good, mate. Looking forward to Christmas.
Absolutely. Yes, roll on, not the far now. And of course, the OG, Sam Aquara. Sam, how are you?
Good. Merry Christmas in advance. Countdown T-2.
That's it. That is it, mate. Well, guys, we always reflect first of all on the last game out, and that of course was the blowout win, 125-96 against the Indiana Pacers. We've used this phrase quite a lot, where we don't try and get too high, don't try and get too low when it comes to wins and losses. But guys, that was a Pacers team who were there. I mean, let's have it right. They're a playoff team. I actually predicted them to not do that well this year, and so far they're sort of holding up to that. But they're a playoff caliber team without a doubt, pretty much at full strength. And yet the Heat with no Bam, no Jimmy, no PJ Tucker, no Morris, no Caleb, so on and so on. Probably the most underhand we have been, most under strength we've been all season, and we blew them out. And that was the key word I'm using with that game there. Is fun. It was so fun, Sam. I wanted that game at 3 a.m. to almost start all over again. It was brilliant. I loved every minute of it. Any keywords or any sort of main takeaways that you take from that really, really good win against the Pacers?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something I just keep talking about and on the previous streams, and just something I love watching. The fact that Yurtsevin is getting lots of stable minutes, and the fact that he just got, I think, 20 to 30 minutes in that game. Dedmon got his usual set of minutes, and both of them were able to force that win, give us substantial numbers in a front court that had Miles Turner and Sabonis. So it wasn't like they were short-manned or anything. Those were our two front court players, and they managed to just pull it out. Like, Yurtsevin's rebounding, like, I think he had, 13-ish or so? And over the past few games, he's averaging over 10. So, like, I'm pleased. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Yurtsevin he's in my list here that I've added, and rightly so as well, because it was probably his best performance of the season. And the best thing about it, Ollie, that when I think about Omar, is, I mean, he's an exciting to watch anyway. He gives you everything, doesn't he, on the court? He looked a bit out of his depth earlier in the season, but he's starting to sort of come to fruition a bit more. But what I'm loving about it, with Bam out, we was all concerned about the minutes that were going to be put on Dedmon's legs. And Omar, I think, with 22 minutes last time out, meant that Dedmon only had to play 20. And that's really, really big, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, we were all kind of worried about the depth in the big area for Miami when Bam obviously went down. And all of the promise that Yurtsevin showed us in Summer League as well. He's starting to bring it in now a little bit. As you said, it was a bit of a slow start for him adapting to the NBA and Summer League is two completely different beasts. So it was a big step up for him, and it did take him a little bit of time to adjust. But yeah, you're starting to see the best of him now, which comes at a brilliant time for Miami, like you said, with Bam Adebayo out. And it means that Spo is able to rotate and experiment with things, and he can keep Dedmon in that role of being the igniter and just really impactful, energetic minutes, instead of playing him too much, and then obviously he becomes tired and his efficiency wanes. Another thing that I know I saw a couple of days ago, when they were talking about Yurtsevin's sort of strength and everything, he said that the reason that he's developing that side of things is because Udonis is on him every day in practice. And you can see that now with the rebounding numbers. That is something that comes with physical ability as well as obviously timing and skill as well. But that physical side of the game, which I think maybe was his sticking point early on, seems to be developing nicely now.
Yeah, definitely. It was a brilliant performance from him, and it is pleasing because he is an exciting, he's an explosive player. The fan base is behind him, a little bit like the fan base was sort of hyped up on KZ Ogpala, Sam, all through his career, and yet we've never really seen much from KZ. But let's give the man his flowers now, because we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time on this account bigging up recently Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and rightly so. But KZ has come to the party, hasn't he? A big game for him, 16 points. His shot's going down. He's giving you good defense. This is what we expected, wasn't it? This is what we signed up for, and he's giving it to us at last.
Yes, I mean, he was very raw when we picked him up in the draft. And if I'm being completely transparent and honest, I was completely against that trade, because going into the draft, the one player I wanted was Ball, and we got him just to trade him. So I was a bit pissed off, but he's actually doing exactly what the front office wanted when they drafted him, and he's just versatile. Like, we've all known of his defensive versatility as well, but on offense he's still rusty. He's still got a bit to learn, but his shots are falling, and it just further adds to that depth that we keep talking about. The fact that if we can trust him consistently to shoot the ball at that rate. We've still got Max Strus doing what Max Strus is doing. We got Yurtseven just coming to his full stride. So yeah, it's just adding to that lovely depth.
It is, and it just you feel like you keep repeating yourself because it just keeps getting better. I just got no higher praise for what this organization can do and can bring out of every one of these players. Because as I said, we spent a lot of time bigging up these G League players, which is really what they are. And they're just taking their chance, but not only taking the chance, they're impactful. And no much so far, really, Ollie, than Max Strus again. Let's quickly talk about him. His first ever NBA start, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. This was in 36 minutes of work. The Heat have done something pretty incredible with Max, because not only have we've uncovered another diamond in the rough, but contractually, we've got him this year. We've got him next year on this minimum contract, and then we've got his bird rights. I mean, it's the production out of this. The Heat just they continue to just uncover these guys, don't they?
Yeah, it's unrivaled in my opinion. I think the Heat scouting and development department is clear of anyone else in the league. Yeah, Max Strus is a brilliant example. He, in my eyes, it's just Duncan Robinson. The whole situation with Duncan, carbon copy. But I think maybe now, at the point that Max is in his development, I think he's further along than Duncan was.
I agree.
And I think his game is more well-rounded than Duncan's is. Duncan, to his credit, has been developing that inside game. Defensively, he's been getting better, but that's come later on. Max, I think, already has that now. He's obviously got the athleticism. He can throw it down. He can defend. He's taken a lot of charges as well. Yep. I just really like him. He's another igniter off the bench that the Heat have found just out of nowhere, really. And yeah, like you said, they have this innate ability to just source talent from where people necessarily don't think it is and turn it into legitimate NBA caliber players. And it's brilliant, because it's just a production line that is going to be endless, because there's always going to be talent out there. You just have to look for it.
Yeah, I agree with you that Max is probably further along in his line, because what we knew about Duncan is he burst onto the scene just being an elite shooter, and it was elite. It was record breaking. I think he went through the whole season shooting 42, 43%. That's just incredible. But Max has got, that was what he was initially the carbon copy of that. It's the first thing that everyone sort of made that comparison with. But he is more athletic. You're right. He does drive more. He can defend better. So Max keeps this up, and he's got that sort of payday waiting for him in a few years' time, which is good for the Heat, because it means that if there's a trade coming, Duncan could be expendable, and that's all credit to Max. Quickly talking about Robinson, Sam. 26 points again, which tied the Heat scoring for the night with Tyler. We'll come to Tyler in a second. But his last 10 games, he's now shooting at 42% after this slump. The slump's gone, isn't it? And I think a key to that, and actually give Max credit a bit of Strus, maybe, Max Strus a bit of credit, because I think that Duncan maybe took this, that saw what Max was doing. Maybe when things aren't going well, getting to the basket, driving, making those twos, just getting that easy layup to start with, and it breeds confidence. And we've seen that a hell of a lot more, haven't we, with Duncan?
Yeah, just to answer your initial question, it's safe to say, and I don't think there's anyone on Heat Twitter that will disagree with me, but it's safe to say that the streak, the bad spell is over. Because I mean, in less than 5 games, people were calling it a slump. So we've got pretty much 5 games now of good performance. So yeah, it's completely over. Um, but yeah, I'd like to credit Max Strus to that as well, because I remember there was an interview that Strus had when Duncan was in the middle of the slump, and he mentioned the fact that, oh yeah, maybe he's got the contract weighing on him, but he was very supportive of him as well. And he just goes to show that like these players, like they're all shooters, like they understand the way each of them are, and like it just rubs off. I think Max Strus, he wasn't the best shooter to start with. I mean, I would liked his shooting form, and it took a while for his shooting form to like transition into consistent shots with the attempts he's getting. But yeah, him Duncan seeing what Strus been able to achieve, I feel like that's just giving him that sort of reassurance that he might have needed or might not even have needed. But yeah, just him seeing that, just giving him the opportunity to like persevere through whatever slump he was getting through to just work through it.
Yeah, the what I put a little it's like snap poll out during the game saying who do you get most excited about when someone hits a kaboom, as Eric Reed would say, and I put Tyler, Duncan, Kyle, and Max Strus in that poll. And Tyler Hero won it, which I don't think is surprising because Tyler Hero perhaps has got the bigger fan base across the organisation. But for me, every time Duncan knocks one down, or from gets one from beyond the arc, I get excited about it, and because that's what he's paid to do. And everyone that goes down, it breeds his confidence. So
Yeah,
Duncan definitely gets that.
I agree with you on that as well, because the thing with Duncan is once he's shooting, it opens the court for everyone else. If you think back to, I don't like to think back to this game, but if you think back to game one of the finals last year, Duncan was shooting the lights out, and we had a good performance from everyone but Jimmy and Bam. So like it kind of rubs off on everyone else. So you'd love to see him shooting well, especially with Kyle Lowry on court as well. So yeah.
Yep, 100%. Before we come on to the Pistons game, very last one here is on Tyler Hero, straight back lolly into the team, and like he'd never been away. 26 points in just 21 minutes. A flawless performance from almost a cameo really in Tyler Hero. But it was just like, as I said, like he'd never been away, slid straight back into action.
Yeah, it was seamless. It was, yeah, like you said, like he'd never left. It's really impressive what he does in so few minutes. I say few minutes, not few, but in the amount of minutes that he gets to produce the numbers that he does, it's amazing. I mean, he's a lock for Sixth Man of the Year. If he doesn't win that, then something has gone catastrophically wrong, either with him or the NBA's voting system. So you can probably book that now. And in my eyes, he should be a favourite for Most Improved. I know that he's currently not, which I think is a bit ridiculous because the numbers alone are impressive, the growth, but his development in his general game as well has been so remarkable from year 2 to year 3. And you've got to remember, this is only his 3rd year in the league. He's still a kid, really. So yeah, it's good. I like Tyler. I've always liked Tyler. I've just had a bit of a soft spot for him. So it's good to see him playing well and back in the team seamlessly, shooting well, and long may it continue.
Yeah, you're right. And even in year 2, when people sort of was down on him, it didn't even really get statistically. It wasn't even a bad season. It was just he didn't make that leap that perhaps everybody thought he would because he was so incredible in the bubble. Everyone just thought this is what he's doing now is probably what they expected last year, and it didn't happen. But yeah, his rise, and he's not finished article. He's going to keep learning. Yeah, as you say, a lot for Sixth Man of the Year. Great to have him back because he offers so much for us. Let's come on to the Pistons game then. Sam, last time out, well, not last time out, but the last time we played him, which was not very long ago, only a game before last. I didn't see it because I was in about my 10th hour of drinking through my Christmas do. But a bad loss, to an unexpected loss. Let's have it right. And people were very quick to maybe jump to the Heat's defense and saying, you can't take these sort of games. This sort of thing's going to happen. Yeah, I agree with that. But let's not sugarcoat Cody. This is a really bad team. Lost 6 or 7 in a row before that game. Actually, I think it was 9 in a row before that game. That's a pretty bad loss, but we scrubbed behind it. We got a nice win against the Pacers. If we lose tonight, is that even worse than the defeat previously? Because they're without Cade Cunningham.
Without a doubt, it would be extremely worse because it's still fresh in their memories. I mean, they only played the game last week, so they could pretty much still it's still like a sour taste in their mouth basically, and like they know what they did wrong to let that game go. Because at some point in that game, I was like fully confident that we were going to win this. So yeah, I would be extremely disappointed if they lose that game because first off, they have no reason to lose it, and secondly, like it's recently happened. So yeah.
I think that's the right point to say. I was just about to come on to that. It will be a bit fresh in their minds when Ollie. I think that I know we've got all these starters out, and I do get the sort of, the narrative of, these games will happen. You can't just rely on these guys to do what they do and what they have been doing every night. But it was a bad defeat against a bad team. But yeah, I think what Sam sort of hit that on the head is what I was about to say as well. Is it will be fresh in their minds. It'll be the same group of players, less PJ Tucker. They'll want to go and put this right pretty convincingly tonight, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Sam, as you were saying, I think to Coach Spo's credit is that whenever the Heat seem to take a really bad loss, they seem to bounce back really well. So the other night against Indiana was that bounce back. But also I think they'll see tonight as also a bounce back because obviously that loss came on Sunday night. So irrespective of that Indiana game, this is a little bit of retribution for them. And I'm sure that Spo will be onto them and make sure that they come out with the effort, with the execution, and just put the game away. Because even with a second unit, Kyle Lowry and the undrafted Avengers, we still have more than enough to beat them, and especially without Cade Cunningham. They're a bad team, and we are a good team. We need to show it.
Yeah, definitely. I can't really see. I mean, when you look through the team, I mean, obviously it's a rebuilding team anyway, as we know. But it's Sadiq Bey is really all they've got now at the moment. They've got no Cade, they got no Kelly Olynyk's not even playing, which is a shame again. We never seem to play against Kelly Olynyk. I don't think we've ever played against Kelly Olynyk. He's always been out since he's left. So it's a loss. It's a bad defeat for them. The Heat are a -11.5 on the spread tonight. We'll come on to predictions in a minute, but that looks like easy money for me. I think that they'll be coming in. One quick thing to touch on with Kyle Lowry, he missed out just about on a triple double the other night. Not that you see that he was bothered about it in the slightest. He was laughing and joking about it on the bench. Him without Bam and Jimmy, you've almost seen his game improve, haven't you, Sam? Because it's like he just steers the ship. He hasn't got to worry about sharing the ball. And I think Cooper Moorhead obviously writes for the Heat for the NBA. He put a tweet out just before, we're going live here, saying in the 11 games since losing Bam Adebayo, the Heat have only played 7 minutes total of clutch time. So a side benefit of the high variance style they've been going with, win or lose, they've generally avoided the section of the game where they might miss their horses the most. That's pretty true, isn't it? That's a really good point. It's something that maybe none of us have highlighted because we haven't had those tight nitty gritty games. So Carl has been able to do his work, steer the ship, and then just go and get his rest, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like the ball is more in his hands now that Bam and Jimmy are injured, and I think we're just getting to see more of that. I feel like prior to the injury, there are certain instances where I've seen a lot of good sort of leadership or like ball management with Kyle Lowry. I mean, obviously he's not putting up 30-point games every single game, but even back to when I think bar the first 3-4 games of the season, there were quite a few instances where you see Kyle Lowry just holding the ball right, protecting the ball, delivering an outreach pass like instantly, just being that sort of floor general you want him to be. And I feel like now that Bam and Jimmy are out, he's just getting the spotlight is on him, and he's just doing it. It's just doing what he's used to. So yeah.
Yeah, it's I can't speak high enough because he goes under the radar a little bit because again, like we always say, the box score sort of never jumps out, but he just does his job. It's just he's so priceless for this team, and it goes to show anybody that was maybe a bit critical or cautious of this signing on big money for an aging player. Look what he's done with this roster. he's missing his keys. He's missing all these assets that he was supposed to be building around and to help his team have been gone. Pretty much for a large chunk of this season, and yet to the credit of the young guys taking a chance, but also big time to the credit of Kyle Lowry. We've been digging these W's out mainly because of his influence. So big shout out to Kyle Lowry. Let's get some predictions then, guys. As I said, I think I'll kick off tonight. We're minus 11.5 on the spread. I'm tempted to whack a load of money on that. I think it's going to be Heat by 20. I just think that this will be fresh in their mind. This won't just be any other sort of regular season game. I think they're going to want to come out with a bit of vengeance tonight. I think they're going to want a bit of a statement, show them that was a one-time thing, a pretty embarrassing defeat last time out. So yeah, Heat by 20 for me. Ollie?
I'm gonna go bigger. I'm gonna say Heat by 23. And I think Yurtseven is going to hit 20. He's going to hit 20 tonight.
Yo, I was just about to say that. Literally about to say that.
Yurtseven with 20, Heat by 23. All we need, Sam, is another UD triple in that as well, don't we? And your culture countdown will be looking pretty stacked out. What are you saying about tonight, man?
Absolutely. I think Heat are going to win. I think we're going to just about cover the spread. I say Heat by 13. But I think it's a Yurtseven game. It's going to be the big Yurtseven game tonight.
We look forward to Yurt season continuing. Absolutely. Great stuff, guys. Let's see then. Hopefully a decent win. Let's hope we don't come back with pie on our face. I can't see it. Let's take care of business tonight. Back on Boxing Day, but we won't be. Obviously, we're going to skip the Boxing Day game. That's an early game for us as well. 8:30 UK time for the Magic game on Boxing Day. We won't be streaming though, because obviously lots of festivities going on, so we won't be bothering the guys during that time. So we will be back on Tuesday against the Wizards for that stream. Follow us tonight, 12:30 tip against the Pistons tonight. Follow us to in-game comms at the Miami Heat UK. Follow us, of course, and subscribe to the Miami Heat UK YouTube channel. And also get your Vice Fits. Get your Vice Fit. This is still our best seller, the BAM. Go and get that. 19 quid. What can you ask for? Go and get it. Support us, because every penny we earn goes straight back into this account. Anyway, guys, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the game tonight. Have a great time, and we'll catch up next week. Take it easy.